Okay, so I wanted to talk about that whole experience yesterday. So, it was so crazy too, because it was bringing up all of these feelings, like of just, rejection, abandonment, all those kind of things, all the things that we all, carry inside of us. And, it wasn't like I came into any kind of resolve or something about my family or, being rejected or whatever. It's just like it is what it is, and it is, I just have to. The thing is with me is that I don't want to be putting energy into that is causing me more pain, me more toxic, um, more just creation of toxicity inside of me. Like I'm not going to hold on to that. I'm not going to, worry about that. I'm just not. And, I mean, it can make me sad and I can face that sadness. And then to me, it's like, well, you just need to go in and really appreciate the time you had, appreciate the good times. And that's the thing that we have to really start getting in our heads, is that's the whole thing about being present and being in the moment, so that you can appreciate your life in those moments, because they're all brief. Nothing is forever, and that is a big lesson that we're all here to learn right now. And that's why there is so much loss involved, because nothing is forever, and it is all fluid, and is all passing us all the time. And if we're just sitting there never being present, never experiencing the moment, and just caught up in anger and um you know the the word, I really feel out of it, sorry, the reactive, if we're just constantly being reactive, and we're focused too much on what other people are saying and doing. And so then it's out of balance in the energy. We're giving too much energy into what somebody else is doing, and so we don't have any control over what others do. And so then you're kind of like you're just wasting energy. It's like you're trying to fill a cup that has no bottom. The water just runs right through. So it is important to stay centered and stay present and stay in the moment. Because when you go into a situation, like I've said so many times, you go into a party and maybe, you haven't seen these people in a long time. And then you see somebody who you had a bad interaction with one time. And so then you just keep replaying that. You just keep replaying it, and thinking about it and getting more and more mad. Somebody comes up and is talking to you. You can't even talk to them. You don't even know what the hell they're talking about. What did you say? And you're just so busy focused on, like, I can't even believe that. I'm so mad about that. And you can go deep into old memories. That's going into the past. You're time traveling at that point. And you are just diving in, looking for things, looking for reasons to stay angry. And, instead of just letting it go and enjoying your day and enjoying your time there, you're just focused on what this person did. That's that reactive. And so then you leave that party, and then it's like all the people, like maybe that was the last time you were ever going to see grandma. Maybe that was the last time you were ever going to see Uncle Bob, you know? You don't know. But you were so busy focusing on what, Susie said to you 6 months ago, that you can't even deal with the people that are there. And so then the people die, and you lost your time with them because you were so busy time traveling when they were sitting there instead of being present and in the moment. And that causes and carries so much pain. People just don't even know until they have dealt with loss of how much you go over every moment, every cross word you said, every time that you said, I don't have time, I don't know, you replay those. And that is so many times when somebody dies, all of a sudden they become a saint in these people's mind. They don't even remember the bad things this person ever did. All they do is focus on the bad things they did. and how they wish they could change this or that. That is the beauty of being present in the moment. So you don't have all of that baggage and all that garbage that you have to continue to drag around with you. You know, you go into the party, you see old Susie over there, you know, and you remember how mad you were. And, you know, I mean, there's all sorts of ways you could handle it. You could go up to her and say, hey, you know, I know last time we got in that fight, but let's, you know, bygones be bygones. Let's let it go. Let's enjoy this day. And say Susie can't. Say Susie's just, you know, giving you the side eye all day long. You know, she's just mad dogging you all day. You don't have to play along. That's her problem. You can still talk to Uncle Bob and Grandma and enjoy those conversations and enjoy these times, because it could be the last time you ever see these people. It could be the last time they ever see you. Is that how they want you want to be remembered? That you just were walking around this party just angry and upset. You couldn't even function or focus. Maybe you had to go, you know, drink a few too many glasses of wine. Maybe you had to be helped out to your car, you know, who knows? It is all of us are making those decisions every moment of every day. Who we are, what we're paying attention to, what we're putting our energy into. But there is a point in time that you face yourself, and it's your regrets and your anger at yourself. I don't think that there's anybody who can cause as much pain to in judgment to you as yourself. Like, we're all always feel judged. You know, oh, my brother is always judging me. My sister's so judgmental. Like, we all have that. Everybody has that experience, feeling judged by people in their family. And it will have, you know, it can frustrate you, can anger you. You can think like, you know, they think they know everything, all the different stuff that we go through that we think. But really, you are the one who is going to have to face that in yourself. Whatever they have to face in themselves, it will have nothing to do with you. You all have to face yourself. So it's your own actions. It's who you are at every given moment. That's what you have to face. And so when I was watching that movie, so if you want to see this movie, you know, you might not want to listen to what I'm saying, because there could be something that I say that will, you know, you'll feel like I told the whole story or something. But oh my God, I am so in love with this. I want to get the book now. I want to read the book. I just loved it so much. The part when it was starting and it was showing the little girl and, you know, her life struggles. And then I'm always looking at stuff from the soul's perspective. Like, I'm always thinking about like what she's going through, like a soul going into that experience and why they would choose it and what they're learning from it. And, you know, all of that, that's always what I'm looking at. And so, you know, for her to go into a life where she's going to be completely abandoned, left on her own, left out, and at such a young age, and not having any protection, not having any salvation, anybody there helping her, being so on guard, being so, you know, never have had anybody there to protect her, take care of her. You know, anybody who ever did was a very temporary situation. And you think about that from a soul's perspective. And, you know, like that's why I said so many souls like are total badasses. Like, the shit that they will come in and take on in life is phenomenal. So she, but look at that, how much you show yourself what you're made of. I mean, and this was extreme to be left like that, like back in the 30s. And this is, I'm sure that this happened a lot to kids back in the 30s and around the Depression. Children were abandoned all the time. People couldn't take care of them. People couldn't feed themselves. You know, there's been a lot of trying situations that have happened to kids for a long time. It still is. I mean, we're still, you know, kids are really being pushed hard into some really dark shit. So this little girl going through all of that stuff, that shows what she's made of. Look at all the resilience and all of the drive and ambition and what it takes to survive. And she, she became a lot into nature, and she started spending a lot of time just drawing and drawing and drawing. So she became, a very developed, really good artist. And she had a very, I think one thing is that when you, about the art thing, one thing is when you are on your own like that, and you tap more into the spiritual world around you, the natural world. And so she was a lot more tapped into that. And so she had she wrote, these like stories. It wasn't like stories, it was like kind of like poems maybe, or short stories. You think of it as being a whole story. There was like a story, but it wasn't like a story like that. She ended up doing a bunch of books. Her drawings were so good. And I kept wondering, is this true? Like, I bet you this is somebody's story. But so she did all of these drawings. I think she even did drawings for encyclopedias and stuff. And she was a really good artist. And she, a guy came out and taught her how to read and write and stuff. And one of the things that I thought was just really cool, I mean, there was a lot of stuff that was sad and tragic, but this girl was a go-getter. She wasn't a quitter. She wasn't going to let life get her down, no matter how bad things got. She just would constantly pick herself up and keep going. She knew how to survive. And that is the beautiful thing, is when your higher self is a witness of you or itself, that it gets to see, like, oh man, I just keep on going. I don't stop. Even though it's all on script. Like, it's all destined. I've had to remind myself so much of this lately. I'll be doing something and I'll feel like, oh, I should do this or that or whatever. And I have to keep telling myself, you are always where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. There's no choice. You can't be somewhere different than where you are always going to be. You're always where you're supposed to be at all times. There is nothing that you can do different. There's no way to be different. It's a script. You're on a script. You're on destiny. Everything's going to happen the way it happens. And so, but there is this point of seeing yourself. So your higher self sees itself play it out. It's not just like, in the book and imagining it as your higher self. Then you do the movie form and you go in and you see. You get to watch it play out. So, I thought, but anyways, I always look at stuff when I'm watching stuff. I'm always looking at it from the soul's perspective of what they're learning, what they're doing, what they're taking on, and, what, all of that stuff, and it is, because that's what's real. It isn't the day-to-day stuff that we think is our real life. That's not our real life. It's just a movie set. It's not real. So, in this movie though, so this one thing that I just thought was and when I had paused it originally to run up the food bank, I had no idea what it was going to, where the movie was going, how it was going to go, because I didn't read the book first. So when and now my eyes are so good, I feel like I could totally read a book. So I do think I'm going to get this book. My eyes are so much better. There's just such a small amount of interference. There's something that is kind of like see-through in this eye. I can see through it, but I can tell when it goes in front of my lens. And then there's a couple of little things that look like little hairs or something that float around. But compared to what I had in my eyes before, like, this is nothing. There was like fucking giant things in my eyes that I couldn't see past. And there was a film over it that I couldn't see through. And then my peripheral was closing in. So, I feel renewed, I'm telling you. And I'm going to appreciate every moment of it. And another thing too, because of the toxins, like right now, I feel so shitty. And yesterday I went up to the food bank, right? And that one guy, the one that the lady wanted to send away, like, oh, well, buy you gas, I'll drive you there. It's like, God, what a dickish thing to say. And when I was in the food part, and he started talking to me about something, and so I was getting out some of that fish out of the freezer, and I said, "This is so weird how it's wrapped like this. I wonder what the deal is. Like, where this fish come from?" And he goes, "Well, since this is the way it's wrapped, I would say it's locally caught. That they catch it." And so I was like, "Okay, well, if it's locally caught," because you start getting into this whole thing, like these food farms, these corporate food farms, and the poison they're putting into the food. So I still don't know. These could totally be corporate food farms where this fish is coming from. So I had thawed some out, and I cooked some on the grill, and I wanted to make a sushi bowl. So I made a sushi bowl. So I made with some rice, the avocado. I don't know what the funkin' hell is up with these avocados. And I had a cucumber. I had a carrot. And I grated the carrot. I had some ginger. I chopped that up. And then rice, once you know rice isn't even real food. So I made this sushi bowl, and I was so hungry, and it was really, really good. And the fish tasted really good. It didn't taste like the last time where it tasted so fishy. So I thought it was really good. I was like, oh man, I'm going to make some fish tacos with some of this. And so, but then in the evening, I just got super, super sick. I feel so like everything on my body is hurting. So something in that food, was that mercury in the fish? Could be. I mean, the fish is poisoned. Everything is poison. Is it chemical treatments to the rice? Like, because they take the food out of the rice just to give us some sort of fucking weird thing. So I don't know. So anyways, I'm super, super sore. I feel uncomfortable. Is it the water? Is it the weather? Is it, who fucking knows at this point? It's all of it together. The energy, the sunburst, the Schumann resonance, just fucking all of it. The energy of the people around you. It's just like, oh my God, it's just draining as fuck. So, but I saw this girl. I'm going to finish that other part of the story, but I wanted to do this because it has to do with the food and the water. This girl this morning I saw, and she is a biology major student or something. And so she's in science. I think she was like biomedical engineer or something like that. I can't remember. But so anyway, she was saying that she was going to do an experiment on the rainwater. And so she set out a thing, and it filled up, and it was orange, which I've been saying for however long, because I've been collecting the rainwater for a long time, and I kept saying it's orange, it's not fucking normal color. So then she was like, well, this is weird, it's all orange, so I'm gonna collect it further out. Maybe it's because of my house or something. So anyways, no, it's just orange because it's full of toxins. It's acid rain. It's not natural rain. It's not just water coming from the skies, from the clouds and stuff. No, it's the chemicals that they spray in the skies are being washed down on top of us. So she's still doing the thing. She's just ordered this big fancy microscope, and so she's going to be looking under the water and sharing all of that data too. But so far, what she has found is that the stuff that is coming out is the same stuff that they put in the pans to make Teflon. And so then she went through and was showing how toxic it is to us. And all of the diseases, all of the problems it causes is exactly what is everything. It's MS, it's autism, it is cancer, it's heart disease, it's obesity, it's depression, it's all of it. And yesterday I saw another person share the chart of all of the different disorders, diseases. Like, there's a chart that tells all the different ones, and then what medical or what metal causes that. Tons mercury. We're being slammed with mercury, lead, and aluminum for sure. And they're all super, super toxic to us. It's what's killing us. So anyways, she she was saying how bad it is. Like, we shouldn't even be cooking on this stuff, and we're ingesting it. It's coming out in the water. And then also in Australia, and maybe I already said this, I don't even know, I really feel out of it, that they already put it into legislature that they're going to be spraying down on the people, that you don't have to get these anymore because they put it into the stuff they're spraying on us, which I've said that all along. I'm sure they've been doing that all along. They just, now they're just covering their asses because they know people are waking up, and there's going to be such major amount of lawsuits. The government's going down. Like, it's all going down. All the bad people, all the corrupt people, all the greedy people, all the hateful people, their time is up. There is no going forward. You're going to hit into a wall. And if you don't have it in you to do better for yourself and do better for humankind, for mankind, and you just want to be hateful and just bitter and diseased, then you won't be going forward. There will be no room at the end. Like, that's just the way it is. And it's not me doing it. It's energy. It's vibration. It's the vibration you carry and the vibration you have to be at to be there. If they're not in alignment, you won't be there. It's just the facts. I can't, I can just say what the truth is. And, people who want to come up with their own little ideas at things, and there's just the amount of people that are confused, who have no idea what's going on. I mean, it's just, there's huge numbers of people who don't have a clue what's going on in the world. They just look at everything from a three-dimensional access point. They don't understand anything of the supernatural, the spiritual. I mean, there's a girl, and she's one of the ones that I follow, who's always doing sky stuff. And so she's the one who had that tracker thing on her car. And so now she has this thing that she keeps filming that is sitting outside, and it follows her around when she leaves, and she zooms in on it and stuff, and it looks like a star. It looks just like energy. It's just the movement, and it's moving, and so I said, it's an orb, it's an energy, it's somebody, and, maybe it's somebody and they want to talk to you, start talking to them. And she was, no way, that was way too scary, no. And now she's all on this, it's a drone, and she's been sharing this other footage where I guess the government has released 3,000 drones or something. I was like, I would much rather it be an orb than a drone. Like, do you know what they're doing with the drones? Like, that's like the fucking foot soldiers of these motherfuckers. Like, what the hell? I don't think it's a drone, but she's way more comfortable with it being a drone than being an orb. And that's what I'm saying, is so many people, like, they're scared of the supernatural. They're scared of everything because they've been trained, they've been programmed. And that you would rather have a drone following you around? That seems safer? I would not want a drone following me around. Not at all. But whatever, to each his own. I think a lot of people are going to be real surprised when they all of a sudden, that's why I keep saying this awakening is going to be really shocking to a lot of people, because they're so mind trapped into this three-dimensional paradigm of reality that they don't even understand anything about this place. So anyways, but I'll go back to the story. But in the movie, she goes through a lot of different experiences and a lot of judgment and, hateful people that don't understand her and don't want anything to do with her. And she's in a really kind of like a poor community, like where there's shrimpers and, a lot of fishermen and stuff in North Carolina. And she lives out in these, like they keep calling it the swamps and the marshes, which the only thing that I thought was kind of strange is, like, they never made a thing about the alligators or the crocodiles, because I would think that there would have been, if she was living in the swamp, that there would have been alligators and stuff. But anyways, that was never a thing that I saw, unless I just went over my head and they talked about it and I didn't notice. So, anyways, but to me, oh my God, it was so beautiful. Oh, I want to go to North Carolina now so bad. And it's so funny because my sister lived in North Carolina for years and I was supposed to go, but it was once everything started happening and I was going to go to that, the Highland Festival with her. And it's just been, how the past few years have been. So, and it's very far to go down to North Carolina from Washington State. And, I have to drive if I want to take Stella. And I don't want to go without Stella all over I don't want to just leave her somewhere for a week or 2 weeks. I've had to leave her when I've left the country. But I would rather, if I'm going to go somewhere, like drive down to see my brother or sister, I'd rather take her with me and drive than go sit in an airport and do all of that bullshit. No, fuck that. Go through TSA and wait and then crowd onto some little tiny plane and be fuck. And then the psychopaths that you're seeing. And then the fact that now a lot of pilots aren't even allowed to fly. Like, I don't know. Just seems like it's that whole end of that whole scenario. But I know that that's not going to be the way that we're going to be traveling, because I know this whole thing about travel is all bullshit too. Like I said, I know that there's portals all around us. It's like they're like a disease. They're like a disease. And a disease infiltrates in different areas. And that's what they're like to me. They're just a toxic disease to this environment. And that is, makes it low vibration, but everybody who's there willing to accept it keeps it on low vibration. And that is why I think like the planet was like, fuck this shit. I am fucking sick of all these people coming here and just abusing me and not caring about me. And, that's why things have to change. And it is the people who do have compassion and caring and, love nature and want to take care of the planet and each other. Those are the energies that are moving forward, not these toxic people who are do what I say or die. You want freedom? Fuck you. It's like, put on your fucking mask, you stupid ass. It's like, fuck off. God damn, these people. So, anyways, go back to my story. Because the thing of this story, I just was madly in love with this. It has a love story. And it was the kind of love that you would come back from life after life to get to experience this love over and over again. It was just, oh my God, it was so fucking beautiful. And it took so much to lead up to it. So much trials and tribulation to get to, it's gonna make me cry. It was just super, super powerful. And I loved the life that they created. It was so simple, and then plus living out into the swamps and the marshes. And oh my God, it was just so beautiful. And the nature around and stuff. And I totally say that movie is definitely one to watch. It didn't feel at all like I was being manipulated. There wasn't any gay people in it. There wasn't any biracial couples. They weren't shoving an agenda down your throat. It was just, and probably because it was an author, it was a book, and it was probably somebody's story. But oh my gosh, it was just, it was so good. And the love story part, oh man, it was so moving. And I just, man, they just created the life that we all just want, just this simple life around the people that we love and spending time just doing the simple things, like, and not just giving all our time over to slavery. That's all they want. And to just give you a little, like, we'll throw you a couple of pennies and then we're going to charge you $10 to survive in this world. So, but people have been making it like this a little girl did it on her own. without working, without, I mean, there was this point, as she got older and older where she started selling her art. But, before that, she had to spend the time becoming good at it, putting time and effort into it. And see, we all have that ability. We all have something inside of us that we can work on, that is us, that we can put out into the world, that gives us back what we need to survive. And that is what she did. And we all have this ability. We all have this inside of us, but we choose to get caught up in the three-dimensional, like, success. What does success mean? How do you make friends? All of those different things that we want, that we create this life that isn't real. It isn't even giving anything back to us. It's just draining us all the time. And we've got toxic relationships all around us. But wanting more for yourself is, the ability to desire something different, to break free from the system. And this little girl, like, she really showed, like, she went out and survived without having anyone doing anything. She started even, she figured out how to go and dig up mussels and then take them into the store and trade them or sell them for supplies that she needed, like a candle. She would cook over a candle when she was little. And all she knew how to make was grits, because that's all her dad had ever fed her, was grits. And so I just think this little kid showed more gumption than so many adults. So many adults are in full-blown panic. What will I do without a job? What will I do without being someone's slave? It's up to you. You get to decide. You don't have to have a job to survive. You just have to have a place to live. And there's so much land that they are keeping us restricted from. But we are the ones who are packing into the cities, desiring this better life, more education, more money, more things. So when you let go of that and you see, like, what life is all about, that is when you take the steps to real life. In real life has to do with freedom and experience and living your own life, not living a life that has been structured to control you. So anyways, it's up to each and every one of us to want more and to believe in ourselves. This little girl didn't have any choice. She was forced into it. And that's what's happening right now for so many people. They're being forced into something that they're scared of. They're being forced into seeing what they're made of. And it's not going to stop. It's going to keep going, because where we end is completely different than this place. This is the dismantling of an entire paradigm. An entire reality is being dismantled, and we're a part of it. And we are the builders of the new world. And we have to go through, it's just part of the way things are, is sometimes you have to see what you don't want, so you know what you do want. You know how to it's like the bumpers on the when you go bowling, something to keep you in line. So this now, is our wall of what we don't want. We don't want to be told what to do. We don't want to go work and work and work and never get ahead. We don't want to spend our whole entire lives working to the point till you get old, and then you are so worn out and tired that you're just sick and dying. Like, it's time for change. And I just say, stop fearing change, and stop fearing that you can't take care of yourself, because you can. An 8-year-old little girl could do it. She could figure out how to survive. All she needed was shelter. She could figure out how to go out and eat some plants. We can all do the same thing. I mean, the plants are out there for us. Just because it's not grown in a corporate garden and manufactured and filled with chemicals and then sold to you in a big market, doesn't mean it's not, that it isn't good for you. The stuff that grows is the stuff that is good for us. The stuff that they are making is the stuff to keep us sick, to fill us with toxins so that they can test chemicals on us and sell us medicine because we are so desperate to be healthy. But it's the people who are selling you the medicine are the ones that are poisoning you and making you sick. That's the world that we live in. But you have to want more. And you have to believe in yourself. That's all you got to do. And everything else is going to it's going to happen naturally. And, as it's happening, don't get caught up and be hateful and angry. Purge that shit out. Release your pain. Release your suffering, because I'm telling you, it will hold you back. And you truly will. Just go back into another life experience like this so you can learn how to love and accept others. So anyways, those are the things I wanted to talk about today. So I'll talk to you later.